Hey everybody, it's Onslaught here. Club Conquest is upon us, and before things get underway, I want to touch base with you guys on one simple thing that you can do in this Club Conquest that's going to guarantee you see better results from here on out. Let's go check it out. So if you weren't aware of how Club Conquest works, before we go into this guideline, let's touch base real quick. Club Conquest is the club-oriented three-team battle that you do every weekend. It has a specific schedule that you need to check out. This is all in the Informations tab, okay, within Club Conquest. It has attacking, regrouping, and needs lots of people to participate, and you earn points by taking towers connected to your main headquarters. For every tower that's attached and aligned to your main headquarters, you earn 1 point per minute. The only exception to this is once you take 13 or more towers, you start earning an additional 10 points per minute. You get awards for attacks, you get awards for defenses. And so when you look at that number and you see that you get that additional 10 points for holding 13 towers, but you don't get any more points for holding 14, 15, and 16 towers, that makes it really simple to follow one basic rule, which is just hold 13 towers. And in the rule of 13, that's it. It's super simple. We just need you to hold 13 towers. Okay? And we went over why 13. The greatest points difference is between your 12th tower and your 13th tower. As soon as you take it, that one tower with just 5 teams is giving you an additional 10 points per minute. From there, to make up the same difference, you'd have to take an additional 10 towers. Why waste 50 teams and all that time to try to take all those towers? That's never going to happen. You're going to get cut off, and you're going to waste a bunch of resources. Don't stretch yourself thin. Just take the 13th tower. You're also going to pick up an additional 10 points for those 5 teams, and you're going to gain 75 points for the 5 wins. And this 10 points, that's the 10 points for holding that additional tower. So at the cost of just 5 teams, you're going to see yourself getting another 10. Okay? The next thing that's nice about the Rule of 13, like I said, is it prevents you from over-attacking. Lots of clubs in Club Conquest look at defenses, they pick a bunch of battles, and they just send all their top guns at them, and they knock down as many towers as they can. That means that once the regroup phases and the counterattacking phases happen, and you're deep into Club Conquest, like late on Monday, and you still haven't seen a victory yet, and you know that you're not going to get there, maybe it's because you've spent all your resources, and you have no strong teams left to attack down on the defenses that your opponents have put in once they retook those towers. Okay? You also don't want to get cut off. And like I mentioned before, if you stretch yourself all the way out, and you try to get all the way to your opponent's headquarters, you might take 3, 4 towers in there, and then your opponent just comes right back, and by taking one, they've cut off 4, 5, maybe even 6 points a minute, and you don't want to see that. That's a lot of resources you're wasting. That's a lot of time that you've invested that you're not going to get any money in, and we need to see the most efficient attacking plan that we can possibly see. So, what does this look like? Okay, the most important part of the strategy is not simply just knowing, okay, we have to own 13 towers. It's, if I want to implement this plan, what is that plan going to look like? Okay, we talked about having active discords in other videos. We talked about having strong clubs. Let's hope that you have all those things. You've come to this point. Your club is getting ready. You have a great Discord chat. You've scouted the other teams. You have a decent idea of what's going on. And now you have to have a plan. So the first plan is that you have to have a tower plan to attack right as Club Conquest opens. Because remember, 13 towers is 10 points a minute. A whole hour goes by, and the other club jumps in and realizes they lost their tower. Not only were they not making a point a minute, you were making an additional 10. So that puts you 11 points per minute up on your opponent. You're looking at 600 points, at least, possibly even 700 points in just that first hour if you can take that tower immediately right away. Okay? The next thing is once that tower is taken, we have to think about defenses. Okay? To prevent ourselves from stretching our resources too thin, assign a just real strong team. All right? Some team that, it might not be S tier in the terms of the entire metagame, but from what your club has to offer you, it's an S tier. It's one of your top 10, top 15 teams, maybe even one of your top 5 teams. and you're going to stick it there. Then you're going to look at your A tier teams, and you're going to put a couple of those in, and you're going to fill the rest in with B tier defenses. Okay, we want to win this battle on a grind and a marathon, and we want the opposing clubs to make more mistakes than we're going to make. Okay, and that looks like us putting just an amalgamation of defenses in there with, excuse me, some strong, some middle ground strength, and then some average strength, and hoping that our opponent is the one who overattacks and not us. If we can prevent ourselves from overattacking and our opponents overattack, we're gaining ground, we're burning through resources, and we're coming much closer to securing that victory. The last thing that we want to make sure is that we are prepared to take another tower as soon as we lose our 13th. So once you take that 13th tower, make sure you have people within your club or yourself that are looking at other towers and going, if they take our 13th, or maybe they don't retake that tower, but they come down on our flank and they take one there, where's our next plan of attack? Where are we planning to attack? Okay, I know that most of the strongest defenses are in that front 5 towers. That makes it really hard for you to waste resources taking a tower and then another tower. Okay, while it's easier to go into that row of 4 and take another one of those towers, remember that makes it that much harder for you to get to 13 if they retake that front tower, because you're losing resources and getting cut off. It's not that you can't do it, it's just that you need to be prepared when you attack down that line that you might lose those towers, which means you might go from a 14 tower hold down to 11, or down to 10, or down to 12, and now we're right in the same battle with wasted resources and our towers sitting in there. There are exceptions to this rule. As you can see that it's a guideline. It works real well. It's smart. It's easy to understand, and it's only one thing you got to think about. Once you start getting the hang of it, the only exceptions that you're going to notice are that if you can cut off your opponent's string of towers, for instance, they've come all the way into your headquarters, and it's easy for you to just snip one and take some points out for them, or, and this is the big one, if your opponent hits 13 towers before you. Because if your opponent hits 13 towers before you and you don't get your 13th tower until 3, 4, 5 hours into the game, you got to make up a lot of points, which means your strategy is going to have to go into, now I have to cut my opponent off of 13 towers, and I have to keep him off 13 towers for at least that same amount of time. Okay? So it's really simple. This is a strategy that you can implement at any level of your club. This can be implemented with beginner clubs. It can be implemented with middle-of-the-road clubs, and it can be implemented with the high-end clubs. Our club just broke the top 100. We're at 85. We're hoping to continue to move up, and we're doing it by trying to play smarter than all of our opponents, and just trying to make sure that we spend all of our resources. You have a lot of people in your club who are grinding their teams. They're spending their resources. They're farming their characters, and you want to be able to put all of those teams to the best possible use that you can. And you do this by not over-attacking, by not stretching yourself too thin, and by not wasting resources. Take that 13th tower, soak the points in, and get up on the play. Force your opponent to make a decision, force your opponent to make a mistake, and then strike right back. Okay? I hope that you guys appreciated this. I hope that this was helpful to you. If you want to see more videos like this, we're posting videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. You can go ahead and ring that bell and subscribe to this channel so that you get notified when it happens. If you want to see some other things that we have done, we've done a lot of analysis, such as pay to play and different sorcerer stones. If you want to check those videos out, you can go ahead and give them a look. That's going to do it for us here at Under the Radar Gaming. Ta-ta for now.